Meanwhile, I think it's a nice transition because I'm Andreea, I'm from Canonical, the company behind Ubuntu, and I'm going to talk a lot about open source and how it helps or how it goes hands in hand with generative AI. So the truth is that we all talk about Gen AI nowadays, and it can do plenty of things. We know the usual things. So we have chatbots, we have messages that we send or we generate to send. And at the end of the day, it's just text generated. But then we can also dream of holidays, destinations, or turn our dog into a superhero, get a fancy logo for our new startups by generating images. And that's not all, to be honest, because we all had dreams when we were kids, and sometimes we wanted to be a DJ, especially in uni. Or we wanted to generate songs, to build music, and that's how we can generate sounds nowadays, with Gen AI once again. And the question of all of this is, as I said, Gen AI, but the applications go far beyond it. And we don't talk that much about it. We got questions yesterday a lot about chatbots. We got questions a lot about image generation and so on. What about enterprises? Do we have their Gen AI? Yes? No? Maybe? The truth is yes. And you can summarize the news for the stock market so you know what's going to happen. And it's one of the fun applications that we heard about. You can generate in the oil and gas industry, if it's going to come next. The drill, or you can summarize actually the drill images to better know where and how to drill. And I'm not an oil and gas expert, I have to say that. But also in plenty of industries, you can actually get personalized education for what you're going to do. And we've all been onboarded at some point in a company where it made no sense what we were being told to, because it was some tool. Well, nowadays Gen AI can help you with this. So that's the answer, generative AI. We all hear about it, we all talk about it, but I'm not here to talk more about applications, but rather how open source falls into it. And we believe in open source. I like open source. So let's see. Is it the way? I see there someone saying, yes, it is. I'm happy I'm not alone. I know Simba before me was also into open source, so we have some supporters here and there. We have open source data sets. I started my journey on Kaggle, and I know I'm not the only one. Hugging Face, Nasdaq, just some other platforms or that offer the open source data sets that we can use. But they're open source models. And yesterday in the workshop, we talked about Llama, we talked about Falcon. And Maciek here in the front line can tell you even more open source models that you could use to get started. You don't have to build your own. And it's very important. You can optimize existing models, don't build your own necessarily. But there are also open source tools that you could use and you could leverage. Featureform could be one of them. But you could also try out Kubeflow, MLflow, Spark, Feast. I'm not sure now if I should say Feast. Maybe not. So there is a way to do and to leverage Gen AI with open source. And the truth is that it helps you in many ways. It helps you with collaboration because you're not the only one that bumped you into a problem. And if you Google it, you'll find an answer. If not, you can ask and you'll find an answer again. But it's also sustainable, which is important nowadays because we all want to train our models. We want to get more compute resources, but how does it affect the environment and how could we optimize it? It's easy to use and that's quite nice, but it's also community driven. So you will never feel alone. You will get support and you will learn from the others. When you feel like giving up, there is someone who might motivate you. It's free and that's nice, especially if you're just getting started this journey. And you can also make the world a better place by contributing to it. That's nice, right? Or at least for me it is. And there are two more things. It gives you freedom. You can choose from plenty of tools, models, data sets, but also you can select just the ones that you like. There's not an out-of-the-box solution. And last but not least, you can innovate on your own for your project, but also with the others. So long story short, Gen AI is everywhere and it's going to keep growing. That's my opinion. But then also you can use open source to do that and to make it better and to kickstart your project. So shortly, you can innovate at speed with open source AI for your Gen AI projects or for the others. And if you have questions, meet us at the booth. We're in the orange t-shirt.